Today I want to start the test of this Knipex Electrician's Knife, and the project I have in store is to put an outlet on that lower left corner of the wall and move a chest freezer over here. Normally I would use these wire strippers to prepare the 12 gauge. See, in here that'll score the jacket so you can pull it off, and then here you strip the actual wire. So we're going to try using the Knipex Electrician's Knife instead of using these strippers. First step here is to measure up 12 inches. That'll be the bottom of the box. The box has these tabs on it. So you just slide it on the stud till it hits the tabs, and that'll account for a sheetrock. Next we'll install the outlet so that the bottom of it is at the 12-inch mark. I'm going to tap into that box on the right and run the wire across and down. Okay, here's the mark where I want to strip the wire to. So I'm going to take the knife, do the same thing I did before, and roll it around. And I'll just bend it. So after scoring around, now I'm going to score the face. When I get to the end here, I'm going to press harder and go all the way through. Now, one thing I've noticed, the tip on this is blunt. That tip needs to be made sharp. It needs to be sharp like a razor blade on that tip to be useful for cutting and scoring wire like this. Now again, I should be able to take this and peel it back where it was scored. And when I get to where I scored around, it'll just rip right off. And we'll get rid of all the paper. The wire to lay nice and flat up against the wall, and we'll push it through into the outlet. Later I'll put a couple more staples there. Okay, I'm going to cut the wire back a little bit because that's too much. I do like to leave extra. I don't like it when they're so tight that you can't wire anything. So let's see if we can strip this again. Go around. Okay, I didn't go hard enough. A little bend. Go. Now we're going to try something else to see if this little diamond can be used to bend the wire, because we have to bend the wire to go around the screws on the outlet. Okay, so we have the screws on the outlet. So we have to bend the wire so it'll go around the screws and we can tighten it down. Normally I would use a pair of needle nose to do this. Let's see what happens. I'm going to use the edge of the blade as a guide. I'm going to try putting this in, putting the wire through and lining the wire up with the edge of the blade. Okay, that's going to get closed on. Alright, that's not going to work. That's going to be way too much. So let's see what else, how else can we line this up? Let's try lining it up with the top of the blade. Just start it and then see if we can finish it off. Okay, so I was able to put the loop in the wire using that diamond in the knife. You just have to get the feel of it as far as where to position. Okay, that worked. Now I went and I used the top of the knife just to start it, and that marked the position. Then I'm able to come on. I need to go the opposite way to have enough. You gotta watch because that knife closes up on you. Probably need to hold it down here. Try this one. Start it. Finish it. Okay. So you can use that for a couple other things. Okay, let's put the first screw on. And then we'll crimp it. Crimp that in and screw it down tight. Okay. I'm going to stop and I'm going to put the other staples in. Okay, let's bend the wires. So that the outlet will go in place. Okay, I'm lazy. That's why I have an electric screwdriver. final tighten in my hand. Now we can go turn the power on and see what happens. Okay, the power's now turned back on. Let's plug in the tester. You can see 2 lights. Correct wiring. So we have the space here for the freezer. So just to recap, we went from that box on the right over there, white wire coming across, going over. Had to drill a hole through the plate on top and coming down into the outlet. Okay, so for a little recap. Yes, I was able to get the job done with the knife. I was able to strip the outer jacket and then the insulation on the wire. And I was able to use that little diamond shaped area to pull the insulation off of the wire. I was also able to use that little diamond shaped area to bend the loops on the end of the wire. Now, one thing that I found that happened is when I was bending the loops, the knife would want to close on me. What I didn't try and what I should have tried is doing it like this with the knife closed and holding the knife like this. You know, that remains to be seen. Will the body of the knife get in the way and not let me roll the loop? Will I have enough clearance? I'm not sure. I'll have to try that again. Okay, here I have a scrap piece. Let's try this again with the knife closed. Okay. I'm going to start this out right like here and bend it over. Okay, that worked. That worked really good. So that's the way to use this knife, to put the loop on the wire. Used it in the closed position. I made the mistake of trying to use it in the open position. So you can get a lot of things done with this knife without having to carry extra tools. And it also is a knife. Seems to be built fairly well. It's got a nice half stop. For a $25 knife, it's got a pretty good walk and talk. Now, Amazon lists these as a stainless steel blade. I have no idea what kind of steel this is, but it does seem to work. The point is dull. As you can see, that's not doing anything. This point here needs to be sharpened. This tip should come to a point very similar to a razor knife or any other sheep's foot knife. It doesn't do that. That would make it easier to skin the insulation off the wire. Now there is a little notch here which looks like a sharpening choil. I have not tried to do anything with that because it did look like a piece of wire might fit. Now it's not. See, if it was a little deeper, you might even be able to use that to bend a piece of wire. So that's going to be just a sharpening choil. It's not quite deep enough. So overall, I do like this knife for $25. And I would gladly keep this in my pocket while doing electrical work. And I probably will actually end up buying one of these. Not that this is the greatest thing in the world, not that it can replace dedicated electrician's tools, but you can do a lot of things I have in mind with this as simple projects. If you just have something simple like the outlet that I put in, or if you were an electrician and you were going into somebody's house, you could just have a couple simple tools in your pocket and take care of some problems without having to go back to the truck and get a whole toolbox full of things. With this in the multi-tool, you can complete a lot of simple fixes, because most things actually are simple fixes. When you have electrical problems in the house, a lot of times they're just simply loose wires in the outlets. Very seldom are they actually problems in the wire itself. You can have a bad fixture, or wires have come loose from the outlets moving around over the years because they weren't screwed down tight. So a lot of simple things you can do with this. So overall, I like it. It's a decent knife for the money. and there are a bunch of useful things that you can do with it. And there's probably more. I have no idea the proper use of this tool. I don't know everything that they had in mind when they designed it. And maybe some of the things I did with it, it's not even designed for. I don't know. But it does work. So, if you're doing electrical work, this is not a bad knife to have in your toolkit. To make this passaround knife even sweeter, J.O. Ventures made a really nice leather belt sheath for the knife. This is what it looks like. Take a look at this. Knife rides in there, put the lanyard down to the side, and then snap it. It makes a really nice package. Lanyard makes it nice and easy to pull the knife right out. You did a beautiful job on this. This sheath is easily worth more money than the knife is itself, and it is a great way to carry it. So this next to a Leatherman multi-tool, and there's a lot of electrical stuff that you could do. Now, would I carry this knife if I wasn't doing electrical work? No, I would have no reason to. I'd much rather carry a normal knife. I'll get more utility out of a regular blade than I will out of this blade. But when you have to do some electrical work, it is a good knife to throw in your pocket or on your belt in this sheath. We'll see you next time.